Today, on September 4th, 2025, we are grappling with a chilling reality. The landscape of domestic terrorism is changing at a frightening pace. For decades, we have seen the terrible violence that can be unleashed by hate groups. These groups, driven by ideologies of supremacy and exclusion, have used bombs and bullets to sow fear and division. But now, a new and more sinister element has entered the equation. The rapid advancement of technology, once hailed as a tool for progress and connection, is being twisted into a weapon. We are witnessing the dawn of an era where old hatreds are being armed with the cutting-edge tools of the 21st century, creating a threat unlike any we have faced before. This frightening new reality was brought into sharp focus by a recent event in Florida. On what should have been a normal spring day, an extremist attempted to carry out an attack that went far beyond the conventional methods of terror we have grown accustomed to seeing. This was not just another tragic shooting, though it was that too. It was a calculated attempt to merge white supremacist ideology with some of the most powerful and dangerous technologies available today. The attacker sought to weaponize artificial intelligence, biological agents, and even nanotechnology. This incident serves as a stark and urgent warning that the future of terror has arrived, and it is far more complex and potentially devastating than we ever imagined. The case represents a dark convergence, a point where the destructive power of human hatred meets the limitless potential of technological innovation. It forces us to ask difficult questions about the tools we are creating and how they can be misused. For years, experts have warned that technologies developed in labs for medicine, data analysis, and material science could fall into the wrong hands. That theoretical danger became a terrifying reality on the campus of Florida State University. This event has irrevocably shifted our understanding of the threats posed by domestic extremist groups, pushing us into uncharted territory where the line between science fiction and present-day danger has become terrifyingly blurred. The implications of this attack are profound and far-reaching. It is a wake-up call for law enforcement, for lawmakers, and for society as a whole. We are no longer just fighting against individuals with guns. We are now confronting a new breed of extremists who can access and manipulate the very building blocks of life and information. The incident in Florida was a failed experiment in mass destruction, but it provides a blueprint that others may try to follow. Understanding what happened, how these new weapons were intended to be used, and how the plot was uncovered is the first critical step in preparing ourselves for the complex security challenges that lie ahead in this new and uncertain age. To grasp the full gravity of the Florida attack, we must first understand the sophisticated and dangerous weapons the perpetrator, Ethan R. McAllister, attempted to deploy. The first of these was artificial intelligence, or AI. This technology, which powers everything from our smartphones to complex scientific research, was horrifically repurposed. McAllister did not use AI to build a better world, he used it to identify people to destroy. He had modified open-source AI software to create a system that could automatically scan social media platforms. Its purpose was to use facial recognition and keyword analysis to build a list of potential targets, specifically selecting individuals based on their race and perceived political leanings. This turned a tool of connection into an automated engine for hate. The second weapon found in McAllister's possession was a biological agent. This was not a naturally occurring pathogen, but something far more sinister, a genetically engineered virus. Investigators from the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, or CDC, confirmed that vials recovered from his vehicle contained a modified strain of influenza. Using accessible synthetic biology techniques, the virus had been altered to increase its transmissibility, making it spread more easily from person to person. The plan was to release this engineered plague upon an unsuspecting population, causing widespread illness and death. This represents one of the most feared scenarios in modern bioterrorism, where a lone actor can create a pandemic weapon in a clandestine lab. The third and perhaps most futuristic weapon in this terrifying arsenal was nanotechnology. Tiny, microscopic particles, invisible to the naked eye, were engineered to be a delivery system for deadly toxins. The Federal Bureau of Investigation, or FBI, reported that vials containing a suspension of these nanoparticles were discovered alongside the other weapons. The plan was to disperse these particles into the air, where they could be easily inhaled by people in the targeted area. Once inside the body, they were designed to release their toxic payload directly into the bloodstream and respiratory system. This method of attack is quiet, invisible, and incredibly difficult to defend against, marking a significant and alarming escalation in terrorist capabilities. Each of these weapons, on its own, represents a formidable threat. AI can automate and scale up the process of selecting victims, removing the human element, and making targeting more ruthlessly efficient. Engineered biological agents threaten to unleash pandemics that could collapse healthcare systems and kill millions. Weaponized nanotechnology offers a stealthy and insidious means of delivering poison on a mass scale. The true horror of the Florida plot was McAllister's intent to combine all three. He planned to use AI to select his targets, then unleash both a fast-spreading virus and an invisible cloud of toxic nanoparticles upon them, a multi-pronged attack designed for maximum chaos and lethality. The attack unfolded on April 17, 2025, at Florida State University in Tallahassee. The perpetrator, 24-year-old Ethan R. McAllister, arrived on campus armed with both conventional firearms and his high-tech arsenal of terror. Before he could deploy his more advanced weapons, he began shooting, creating panic and chaos. This initial burst of violence tragically resulted in 3 deaths and 7 injuries. It was the sound of gunfire that first alerted campus police and local law enforcement to the scene, triggering an immediate and robust response. Officers arrived within minutes, engaging the shooter and preventing what could have been a much larger loss of life from the firearms alone. During the confrontation with law enforcement, McAllister was neutralized before he had the chance to release the biological and nanotech agents. It was only after the immediate threat was contained that the true scale of his horrifying plan came to light. A search of his vehicle and personal belongings at the scene uncovered the chilling evidence. Authorities found the vials containing the genetically engineered influenza strain and the suspension of toxic nanoparticles. His laptop, also recovered, contained the sophisticated AI software he had configured for target identification. The discovery of this cache of advanced weaponry sent a shockwave through the intelligence and law enforcement communities. The investigation that followed moved swiftly. The FBI's counterterrorism units and scientists from the CDC were dispatched to Tallahassee. Their primary concerns were to secure the dangerous materials and to determine if any of the agents had been successfully deployed. As a precaution, large areas of the university were cordoned off, and specialized teams conducted extensive decontamination procedures. The CDC later confirmed that while the biological agent was viable and extremely dangerous, there was no evidence that it had been aerosolized or had infected anyone. Similarly, the FBI concluded that the nanotechnology weapon was never released. The casualties, though devastating, were solely the result of traditional firearms. This incident marked the first time in United States history that a domestic extremist, particularly one driven by white supremacist ideology, was confirmed to have acquired and attempted to use such a coordinated combination of AI, biological agents, and nanotechnology in an attack. McAllister's online history revealed his deep immersion in extremist forums where these very topics were discussed. He was not a lone genius. He was part of a growing online subculture that actively brainstorms ways to use technology for mass violence. The investigation is now focused on tracing the source of his materials and knowledge, and identifying any potential collaborators who may have helped him. The failed attack in Florida is a chilling omen, a clear demonstration of the profound danger that emerges when extremist hatred is combined with accessible, powerful technology. For too long, we have viewed these as separate threats. We have laws to combat hate crimes and separate regulations for sensitive technologies. But McAllister's plot shows that these two domains have merged, creating a hybrid threat that we are not fully prepared to handle. The ideologies of hate are no longer just spreading through pamphlets and secret meetings. They are thriving in online spaces where technical knowledge for building next-generation weapons is shared openly. This new reality demands a new and more integrated approach to our national security. To prevent such attacks in the future, we must act decisively on multiple fronts. First, our laws need to catch up to the science. We need new legislation that specifically regulates access to synthetic biology tools and the raw materials used to create engineered pathogens. Likewise, the development and distribution of open-source AI software capable of being weaponized for targeting and surveillance must be re-examined. This is not a call to stifle innovation, but a necessary step to ensure that powerful tools do not become easy weapons for those who wish to do us harm. We must build guardrails that prevent the democratization of technologies capable of mass destruction. Beyond legislation, there is a critical need for increased awareness and collaboration. Scientists and engineers in the private sector and academia must be more aware of how their work can be misused. They are the first line of defense in recognizing and reporting suspicious activities. At the same time, federal and local law enforcement agencies need better training and resources to understand and investigate these complex technological threats. This requires breaking down the silos that exist between tech experts, biologists, and counterterrorism agents, fostering a more collaborative and forward-thinking security posture that can anticipate threats before they materialize. Ultimately, protecting our society from these emerging threats is a shared responsibility. It requires a commitment from all of us to confront the ideologies of hate that fuel such violence, while also wisely managing the powerful technologies we create. The events at Florida State University were a tragedy, but they were also a warning. They showed us a glimpse of a dark, possible future, one we must work tirelessly to avoid. By updating our laws, fostering collaboration between different fields, and reaffirming our commitment to an inclusive society, we can begin to build a defense against the modern nexus of hatred and technology, ensuring our safety and security for generations to come.